Is Google $2,700 stock price a good buy right now? Jesus, why can't they just do a stock split? Like honestly, like Amazon and Google, when they're like in the $3,000 range per share, why can't they just do a stock split and let everybody be happy? Let everyone afford a share, man. Come on, man. Jeez. Hey guys, welcome back to Curious Pejjy, and as always, I'm curious. I'm curious if Google's nearly $3,000 stock price is a good time to start a position for the next 5-10 years and onwards. So after researching and putting a lot of hours into this prediction, I made a very easy to read and understandable Excel spreadsheet that predicts the stock price every year up until 2030. And to be quite honest with you, after doing this, we might do a touchdown on the moon, so we might have to go all in. Now, before we get into it, there are some disclaimers that you should know. Am I a financial advisor? No. Can you rely on this video in making the choice in buying Google stock or not? I would say definitely. All information, all stats and facts are from solid data, so as usual, nothing came right up my ass. Can you guys use this video as research towards Google? Definitely. Do I own any Google shares? Well, I don't at the moment, but after making this video, I'm really considering it. Should you guys like this video, you guys should definitely smash the like button. If you subscribe, will there be more videos like this? Oh, hell yeah, man. I love this stuff, man. Just comment down below what company or stock you want me to do next. I'll be more than happy to, but definitely we're gonna have a lot more investment videos coming your way. And not only that, I am a curious person, so down the line when I'm not on lockdown anymore, we can go ahead and do some other things other than stocks, stuff that I'm curious about, and I'm pretty sure things that you guys are curious about too. So we've all heard of Alphabet, right? Alphabet, when we go on Google and we type in Google stock, it says Alphabet Class A shares, but the ticker symbol is Google. Pretty much Alphabet is a parent company to Google. However, Alphabet owns a lot of companies. Obviously, it owns Google's and the other part of Google, which includes YouTube, which by the way, they are the two top, Google and YouTube are the two top search engines in the world at the moment, and probably will be for the years to come. Not to mention that Alphabet owns a whole bunch of other companies, as you guys see here in this chart, which is a very good thing. And I'm going to go over these companies very briefly how they are, but it's very good to see that Alphabet, which owns Google, owns a whole bunch of other companies, because it shows diversity, and that's very important in today's world. So I'm gonna quickly go over some of the companies that Alphabet owns. You may not have heard of them. Like me, I haven't heard some of these companies, but you get a better understanding about these companies and what they do and how diverse they really are. Number one, Mankini, if I said that right. They develop wind power generator for renewable energy. JV, or Google Ventures, is a venture capital investment firm mainly for technology companies. Capital IG, Alphabet's independent growth fund, pretty much a hedge fund. Calico is pretty much a biotech company. Verily, they're into life science, mainly in preventing health and diseases. Waymo, which focuses on self-driving technology. Very interesting. Stockwell Labs, which they focus on improving urban infrastructure through technology solutions. DeepMind, which is pretty much an AI company. Project Loon, which focuses in providing internet access to rural and remote areas. And last but not least, Project Wing, which focuses in developing in drones that can deliver goods, essentially to reduce traffic and congestions in cities. Who doesn't want that? So as you can see, Google or Alphabet isn't just a search engine. They are much more. But with all these companies that Google owns, you best bet that they are at work trying to compete. Here's a list of 12 things they are planning to do in the future or doing already. The link of this article is in the description, and I encourage you to read it because it's really interesting. I could go over it now, but this video would be over an hour long, and I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to stay here for an hour long. So the link of this article is in the description. Now, with all this information, should we go all in or not? Let's find out. So this is the Alphabet or Google stock price prediction chart. We have to just take a few notes before we dive right into it. So in 2020, the peak price was $18.23.73, and the current stock price right now is $2,742, which is absolutely insane because that's almost $1,000 increase from the peak of 2020 to 2021. Like if you would have invested last year, you would have been $1,000 richer per each share, which is absolutely insane. But nonetheless, the total revenue that they did in 2020 was $183 billion, with a net income of $40 billion, with the shares outstanding of 733 million, which is actually, well, that explains the stock price why it's so high. They don't have much shares available, with an EPS of almost $55 and with a PE, I know it says forward PE here, but 2020 has passed and the PE was 33 and 20, which all of this did happen in 2020, and the stock price with all this information was $1,648 with a market cap of 1.3 trillion dollars, which is, you know, rightfully given. So in 2020, this is what has happened, but we need to find out what is going to happen in 2021 all the way to 2030, and let's get cooking. So as usual, I looked around for the best place to get the stock price prediction, and the best place was no other than Simply Wall Street. So Simply Wall Street only gave us data up until 2023, which usually they give us to 2025. It's better if they give us more data so we can have a more of a solid prediction up until 2030. But again, predicting that long in the future, even 5 years, is very difficult because anything can happen. Like, hey, 2019 was an amazing year. We all thought 2020 is going to be an amazing year. And then this Corona came and just destroyed everything. You never really know what's going to happen. So I guess that's why they take it a very conservative approach and they say 2 to 3 years they will predict and they go after that. But we're not going to be looking at 3 to 4 years, man. We're a long-term investors. They want to see what's going to happen in 10 years or hope to see what's going to happen in 10 years. That's the goal of this video. So I took what Simply Wall Street was giving me from 2021 to 2023 and these are the figures. Now the shares outstanding was actually really interesting because the shares outstanding, just like Apple and Microsoft, they were being bought out. If we look at the chart here, since 2018 they've been buying back shares, which is pretty interesting. The fact that they don't have much shares available and they're buying them back, that's like guaranteed gains at this point, which is amazing. And if they continue to do this, the stock price is going to keep going higher and higher. But let's see exactly how much they're buying at a quarterly rate and then at a yearly rate, because that's important. So I put all the numbers here in this very simple Excel sheet, shares outstanding with the date, every quarter from 2017 up until the end of June of 2021. And the average quarterly was 0.2% bought out on a quarterly basis. But quarterly is nice. It's good to see that on a quarterly basis they're buying and is at a 0.2%. It's not a lot, but you know, they're still buying at a rate. We have to see how much they're buying on a yearly rate. So what I did is that I took the shares outstanding at the end of every year and I just divided by the number to see what the percentage was between them. And from 2018 to 2017, it was 0.1%. 2019 to 2018, it was 0.7% bought out. And from 2020 to 2019, it was a whopping almost 2% at a 1.6% rate, which is absolutely insane. They went crazy in 2020. I think because they saw that their stock price was devalued because everything was on sale, man. If you guys bought a lot of shares of anything in the 2020 stock market crash, you would be balling right now, man. If you guys didn't go all in 2020, man, that was a year to go all in pretty much any stock, good quality company. But don't worry, there's a lot more coming, I'm sure of it. And the yearly average we get here is 0.8% that they buy their stock price on a yearly basis, which is honestly not bad. But we're gonna say they're gonna buy on a 1% rate. All right, we're gonna be a little bit more optimistic here because they did buy 1.6%. It was a big jump from 2020 to 2019. So we're gonna say 1%. We're gonna put that into the formula from 2021 to 2024, and this is what we get. And based off that, the EPS calculated automatically, and this is what we get, which is actually amazing that by 2023 it's gonna be over $100. Now the forward PE is going to be very interesting. So the peak price in 2020 was $1,823, and so based off that price, we're gonna see how much the forward PE was if that was today's price. This way we can see how cheap it will be or what the PE will be from the years to come. So in 2021, if the stock price was 1800, the PE would be 19, which is absolutely pretty cheap. In 2022 was about 18 and a half, in 2023 was about 16, which is honestly pretty cheap. We're gonna get in the PE in depth in a bit because that's going to be very important to see what the stock price will be, the actual stock price that we're going to predict from 2021 all the way up until 2030. But it's good to see, which is interesting to see, that by 2023, if the stock price for some reason dips in the 1800s again, which was the peak price in 2020, you already know it's going to be a big strong grab. That's what this chart will tell us. So now we have to find the revenue and net income for Google from 2024 all the way to 2030. And based off the revenue that Simple Wall Street has given us, we can see that from 2020 to 2021, there was a 37% increase in the revenue, and then a 16% increase from 2021 to 2022, and then another 16% increase from 2022 to 2023. And we also see a similar jump or spike in net income from 2020 to 2021, and then a 3% increase, then a 15% increase for the following years. I'm positive the reason why there's a big spike is because of this pandemic. Again, every company is going to benefit from coming out of it because more people can, be free finally from this terrible, terrible situation that affected all of us. Lockdown after lockdown after lockdown, man. Jeez, getting tired of that. But I need a little more data to be sure exactly what to predict the revenue and profits for the years to come. So what I looked at is that I looked at from 2017 to 2020, and this is what we have. From revenue, we had a 23% increase from 2018 to 2017, an 18% increase from 2019 to 2018, and we had a 13% increase from 2020 from 2019. So we can see that the growth was declining. But again, 2020 was a big bad year for everybody. Everything was declining really on that year. And then the net income or the net profits, it was a 143% increase from 2018 to 2017, which was a fantastic year. And then 12% increase from 2019 to 2018, and a 17% increase from 2020 to 2019. So what is going on here? Revenue is going down, but net profit is going up. And they're both going to see a big spike in 2020 because that's when everything is slowly going back to normal. But then it slowed down in 2022 and then normal back to 2023. So this is a little tricky. So what I did is that I took all the average of 2017 all the way to 2023, and I said for the revenue they should be growing at a 15% increase from 2023 to 2030. I think that's reasonable. And when it came down to the net profit or the net income, I said 14%. Let me see if you guys agree with this. I think it's a little bit too optimistic based off what Simple Wall Street here is saying. They're saying 12.6%, but we're saying 14% because as Google, man, they're doing a lot of good stuff. And just look at this chart. Look at this chart going up. It's going like honestly to the moon. The revenue at least. The profit is staying fairly stable. But 14% I think is pretty realistic in my opinion. Let me know if you guys agree. So we're going to put this into the formula and this is what we get. Obviously the shares outstanding follows that as well with the EPS here as well and the 4 PE, which wow, 6.4 PE by 2030, man. If the stock price reaches 1800 in 2030, which is a big grab. Again, if you're in 2030, all right, let's say we're in 2030 and the stock price drops to 1800, that's like a buy. That will never happen, by the way. But if that happens, that is a strong buy. You should go all in, man. All in. So that's the prediction up until 2030. They're saying the revenue is going to be close to $900 billion. And the net income will be $200 billion, which is absolutely phenomenal. But to find the predicted stock price, we have to find the correct PE or reasonable PE to base off the stock price. Because that's what the stock price is based off to know if that's a good value to buy or not. So looking at Alphabet's or Google's PE history from like 2017 up all the way till now, we can see they've had a peak of almost 59 PE and a low of 17.5. But fairly it's been stable, and it's been stable. We can say that it's been stable in the 30s because we can see here it's been going up and down, and then sometimes it peaked out because that's when the crash happened. By the way, when the crash happens, the PE just goes crazy, goes haywire. We can see that in 2007 and a little bit in 2017, which we had that little mini crash, and obviously in 2020 spiked a little bit, but because the crash didn't last that long, that was a flash crash, man. That's why I didn't register too much here. But nonetheless, we can see that it's been stabilized between 31 all the way to 25. It's between that range. So what I'm going to say here is that I'm going to pick the number 30 PE. I think that's reasonable. I think that's honestly very reasonable to use 30. Let me know if you guys agree with a 30 PE. Taking this number, we're going to go to the chart and we're going to put it. So for in 2021, putting a PE of 30 with the sales and profits given, the stock price is going to be $2,853, which honestly we're not that far off. We're only $100 off, which is absolutely brilliant. The year is gonna end in about like 3-4 months, so this is absolutely honestly sounding pretty darn accurate. But in 2020, it doesn't seem to be increasing that much. It seems to be increasing till 2,962. There's a little bit of a hesitant there, but again, we can only see a 3% increase in earnings and net income. So if that happens, I guess we can agree that the stock price does have to move that way as well. 2023 is going to be $3,451. 2024 is going to be $3,974. 2025 is going to be $4,574. 2026 is going to be $5,270. 2027 is going to be $6,068. 2028 is going to be almost $7,000. 2029 is going to be just a little bit over $8,000. And by 2030 is going to be a $9,265 on a yearly basis. It seems to be growing at a 12 to 14% rate. Obviously, that's what we put here anyways. So that's a good deal if that's going to be the case. Now, what I found very interesting is that Simply Wall Street, when I went on evaluation, they're saying it's heavily undervalued by about 40%. And I'm like, how are they getting this number for? That's honestly crazy. That's insane. After doing a little bit of quick maths, at a price of $4,532, that's a PE ratio of 48. 48 PE. I mean, Google has never stayed at 48 for a very long time. We can see that in the PE. So why are they saying it's heavily undervalued? I have no idea. But let's take their 48 PE and put in our formula. And this is what we get. By 2030, the price is going to be nearly almost 15,000 per share. What? That's insane. If that's the case, man, I'm gonna sell everything and just dump into Google, man. I'm just gonna go all in. Like 15,000 per share? That's freaking insane. And with a market cap of $10 trillion, I mean, like, maybe, man, maybe. I mean, $10 trillion right now, they're sitting at like 2 trillion. It's really saying they're gonna grow a trillion every single year. I mean, we are going to have some bad years down the line, man. Maybe 2025, 2027. Nobody knows what's going to happen in a single year. Not every year is going to be perfect. But hey, man, if that's what they're saying, man, that's extremely bullish in my opinion. But don't forget, guys, this is only a prediction and a prediction only. It doesn't mean it's going to come true. We did use solid data to see what will happen, but you never know what's going to happen in a single year. So we just have to always be ready and aware, just in case if things go south, another company comes along and just takes on Google, which very unlikely for that to happen. But competition is real out there. But Google is a true king, so I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. Now, my only concern with Google is the fact that they've been in power in the search engine business for a very long time. Like, they've been very dominant. Nothing can really come close, not Bing and not all the other ones. But in my opinion, I think that's where the weakness is. Hear me out now, all right? Hear me out. Since no one right now can challenge Google's search at the moment because they're just too powerful, competitors have to find ways to disrupt web searching in general. I'm specifically talking about Alexa. Yeah, the Amazon Echo device. I know you're a little bit confused, but watch these short clips and you'll know what I mean.
What's gonna happen with shopping? I'll give you a very simple answer. Alexa, buy a purse.
Did you want me to find a purse?
Yes. Alexa, buy this. I just bought a $36 purse, right?
Order, please.
Alexa, thank you. Stop. Alexa, stop. The fact that I just bought a $36 purse in 1 second, 9 seconds, 11, whatever the math will show, like, forget about e-commerce. That machine right there is remarkable. Listen, we care about time and convenience. If I can just be brushing my teeth, remember something, it's quicker for me to say, hey Google Home, or hey Alexa, remind me to buy tomatoes, than to grab my phone and type it. Just faster. Speed. Speed wins everything. Shirt's collar is sound activated when Alexa starts making deals with Ralph Lauren. And anything you think that you need to create lack of friction of, you just say and it gets done, we will all be addicted to that because that is speed. And if you could be the Alexa, I need a lawyer, all of a sudden, Google search is in trouble.
I just have to say Gary Vee's a genius. I just have to point that out. The fact that you can say, hey Alexa, and then all your wishes could come true is a lot more effective, convenient, and just faster than opening your laptop, going on your phone, opening search, Safari, going on search, searching what you want to look for, and then do more research and find the right link. And Jesus, that sounds like a hassle already. But that's slowly going to be the future. You know, hey Alexa, buy me this. Hey Alexa, get me that. Get me this. Go this. Remind me because of that. No one's gonna go on the phone anymore where you can just say it and then your wishes come true, man. I mean, that's freaking awesome. That's like having a mini genie with you all the time, but it gets things done. What's for sure is that the next generation will use devices like Alexa more than our generation does with Google search. And that's just facts. I'm not saying Google is in trouble. I mean, they have Google Home, which is the same thing as Alexa, but the Google version, but it's not as smart. So come on, man, Google. Pick up the slack, man. Come on. But that's the main threat that I personally see when it comes to Google and their dominance in search engine, because that's what everyone knows what Google is for. Yeah, Google owns Android and YouTube, which we'll get to that in a bit. But you know, at the end of the day, Alexa is a disruptor to Google search because it is faster, more convenient, and effective and efficient. And that's the only threat that I see towards Google search. Should you buy Google's nearly $3,000 stock price? Look guys, Google has been around for 22 years and they will be for another 22 years. That's just facts. And even though I have concerns about Google and their search engines and such, I mean, you gotta give it to them, Alphabet or Google is pretty darn diverse. And not to mention, YouTube is owned by Google, and YouTube at the moment and for a long time, it's one of the best or the best social media platforms out there, because they are the only media platform that pays their creators for doing things that they love, which is honestly amazing. It brings creators, it brings their dreams true. The fact that you can do things that you love and put it on YouTube and make a living out of it is honestly one of the best things about Google, about YouTube. And something that really brings out the best out of people is doing things that they are passionate about. And when they find a voice and they find the audience, it just turns to a whole business and their whole life just flips around. The fact that YouTube or Google has allowed us to have this opportunity is honestly so grateful. I'm so appreciative about this stuff. I mean, I'm not getting paid by anything by Google because I haven't reached the requirements to get paid on this channel. But once I do get paid, I will definitely share with you guys how much money this channel is going to make. But overall, man, YouTube is honestly, it's a blessing, man. YouTube is honestly a blessing. Yeah, maybe TikTok is up and coming, but they will never be able to pay their creators as much as YouTube is. And that's just powerful. I honestly don't see any other social media platforms coming close to YouTube in the foreseeable future. So they're gonna keep growing. Knowing all this, Google has been growing at a 20% rate every year since 2017. And based on what we have predicted, I believe investing in Google stock is a smart choice. Hell, definitely better than a savings account. I mean, anything right now is better than a savings account. So that's my take on it, guys. I believe that if you do have $3,000 just sitting around, have no idea what to do with it, and you want to grow it long term, Google is a wonderful stock to put your money in. And I also want to mention here that Google's stock price is reaching an all-time high of about 3,000. So they might be doing a stock split. The last time they did a stock split was back in 2014 for a 2-for-1. So hopefully they can do another stock split so it could be cheaper for us investors to buy. I mean, $3,000 per share is a lot of money. But if not, you can always buy fractional shares. That's always available too. And that's my take on Google, man. Pretty positive. Google is here to stay for a very long time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you guys really did enjoy this video, check out these other videos that I made. Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon, all these things, guys. They're pretty good predictions. And so far they're on track. So this is going to be on track as well. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya.